As I understand it, at the time of recording, Crysencio Summerville is still a West Ham United player. Here we are on the 24th of July, and despite the protracted, is he going to Roma? Is he going to Al Hilal? Are Manchester United going to make a grab for him? He's still, at this moment in time, not signed on the dotted line. There's been no official communication from the club to say that he's no longer employed by West Ham United. So I suspect that this will all be ironed out. Probably by the time this video goes out, even potentially, he may well already be announced as being a former West Ham United player. As I said, so long as we get the price for him, I think I'm just not really that fussed about it, to be perfectly honest with you. My main concern is about players that we're bringing in. And I have articulated this on a few videos now, and I think that there's probably a lot of you that agree with me that this is the priority now. It's great that we're getting the correct price, and Daniel Kretinsky has shown himself to be an absolute master negotiator in the transfer market. But it's no good if you're going to sell all your players, get a load of money in the bank, and do nothing with it. That's counterproductive in the extreme. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What you think about what the business is we need to do, and the players that I'm going to discuss that have been one linked with a move into the club, one linked with a move out of the club. And obviously, as well, if you could drop a like on the stream, give us a hype if you've got one available, that would be appreciated. And if you want to share this on your social media platforms to increase the reach of this particular article, that would also be a great help as well. I am going to do the editing this time. I haven't done in the last couple of videos because I've been out and about, and to be honest, it's too much faffing around with all of the things that I have to do to try to make it look in a certain way. But right now, I would think, if the editing's worked correctly, in the top left-hand corner, you will have the QR code that you know the drill. Get out your mobile device if you're not already subscribed to the West Ham Massive YouTube channel. Scan the QR code, takes you to our YouTube subscription page. Subscribing is free, data safe, takes a couple of seconds, just helps grow the channel. It's something bigger than what you find it. And hopefully make it as bright as my shirt. I've been into work today, and I was wandering around the office and the various different departments within the company with which I work, and everybody was smiling. And okay, they might have been chuckling, sort of like, look, I look like a bit of a donut. I just to paint the picture, I'm actually also wearing a pair of shorts, and I've also got a loud pair of socks on as well. Let me just show you. Let's see if I can manipulate. I'm 50 years of age now, so I'm not as you're not. I'll tell you what. Let me just take the sock off. This is my dress sense. This is me. There you go. That's my socks. And I've been wearing a pair of shorts today, so they've been on display. I like to give people a little bit of a chuckle. You know what I mean? So you got to do it. Friday, sun's out. I like to give people a reason to smile, even if they think I dress like a bit of a donut. Peter Manley, do you remember him? The old darts player. Reminds me of him, this shirt. Anyway, so back onto it. So one player in, one player out, I said. So the player that we've been linked with, now, I'd like to know what you think, obviously. So James Tavernier, Rangers, former captain, right back, been there for donkey's years, it seems. I think he's got about 500 appearances. He's got lots of goals, lots of assists from right back. Quite impressive. Played in Europe, 34 years of age. We've not got no real resale value there, have we? I think he'd be good for the Championship. I think he would be able to hold his own in the champ. I've no real doubt about that. I think my concern would be is if we get promoted, he's probably at that point, if I'm being brutally honest, I think James Tavernier is not a Premier League player. Let's put it this way. If James Tavernier was a Premier League quality player, then he wouldn't have been up at Rangers for, 8-10 years, however long he's been up there. At some point, if he was Premier League quality, a Premier League club at some point would have taken him into their midst. Never happened. So it leads you to the conclusion that, in all likelihood, James Tavernier is not, with all due respect to him, a Premier League quality player. I think he could hold his own in the Championship, not too convinced. And bear in mind that if we do get promoted at the first time of asking, he's 34 right now. He would then be 35. I'm not so sure. I mean, like I say, his CV at Rangers, all of the things that he did while he was playing for them, we've obviously got them in a pre-season friendly. I'm going to that with my son. That'll be good. Never been to Scotland before. It's been first time to Scotland. My great-grandmother was from Dundee, apparently. Never knew her, but apparently. So I've got, what's that? 1/8 of me is Scottish? Something like that. So So yeah, James Tavernier, possibly a good signing for the champ. Not so sure that he'd be a signing that, and we're purportedly looking to get players in through the door that could help us in the champ, but also be someone that could sort of do a job in the Prem. Not so sure that that's this guy. That's 34 years of age. I mean, look, is right back a priority position? Well, look, I guess that if we're looking at this guy, then it probably suggests that Aaron Wan-Bissaka's on his way, which the Aaron Wan-Bissaka that I saw last season, I'm not particularly arsed. The Aaron Wan-Bissaka that I saw 2 seasons ago, I'd be really reluctant to lose. But yeah, I'm not sure that James Tavernier would really cut it for me. What do you think? Am I being a little bit unkind? Am I being a little bit overly critical on the former Rangers captain? The other player that's been linked with going out the door. Now, this is one that actually really worries me. Or it does and it doesn't, because there's some conflicting stories that I've read. One article says he's looking to move on, but, nothing's been done. Taty Castellanos. And I was there on the game against Stevenage. Scored a lovely goal for the second. We won 5-0 away at Stevenage, of course. Signed a 4.5-year deal in January to bring him here. What was it? 20 million, 30 million, something in that sort of range. A goal every 3 games. I think he got 6 goals in 18. I think it was his record. And he put himself about a bit, worked hard, not prolific, but scored a few goals. I thought he was energetic. I think he's not a traditional number 9. He's sort of like, he's one of these hybrid players, isn't he? He's like sort of halfway between a centre forward and a playmaker, isn't he? That's my phone just going off. You might have just briefly heard that, the dulcet tones of Bubbles. But they're saying that he might be attracting interest from Real Betis, apparently, managed by Manuel Pellegrini, of all people. And obviously they've got Pablo Fornals there in the building. We love Pablo. No, absolutely not. We can't lose. Look, Daniel Kretinsky said that he wanted to keep key players, didn't he? And I think that we can stomach losing Matheus Fernandes, albeit to Tottenham, but we got 85 mil, which was the asking price. So you kind of go, okay, fine. 1 year we had him. We made a pretty tidy profit. Okay, fine. No problem. Summerville, 2 years down the track, we're making a tidy chunk on that. And there's no sell-on clause, unlike with Fernandes, where we had to give Southampton a few quid. 7 million, I think it was. So you can kind of sort of get on board with that. But the thing that I would sort of struggle with would be if we move Taty on. And even if we make our money back, I'd just go, well, wait a minute. Daniel, you turned around and said about keeping key players. We, as a fan base, would probably accept Matheus Fernandes and Summerville. Okay, fine, fair enough. Taty? No. No, I mean, as far as I was concerned, the key players that he was looking to keep would have been Bowen, Mavropanos, Taty Castellanos, Mads Hermansen. Hermansen's already said he's staying. Bowen's already said he's staying. It's widely believed Mav is going to sign a similar contract to what Bowen was tempted by. Taty has got another 4 years on his deal. Surely we've got to hold firm. They're saying maybe even a loan deal to Betis. And I'm just like, no. Especially, look, I did the story yesterday about we've been linked with that Thomas Chory of Slavia Prague. And I don't believe that this is a player that is really a credible link. And if he is, I'm not so sure this is the sort of player we need. He's got nothing in the way of pace. He's got attributes. He's clearly a talented footballer at a certain level. But as I say, he's 31, 6'6", so he's a powerful old school centre forward. That's not what we need. I'm not sure that is what we need. We need the main 2 attributes that we lack as a squad. Everybody knows. I'm not about to say anything that other people haven't said and we don't already know. Pace and creativity. A 6'6" lumbering centre forward that likes swinging his elbows around and giving opposition players concussion. I'm not sure that that's really what we need. So Taty, we can't lose him. We can't. We can't. And with this, we're edging ever closer to the first game against Portsmouth in the League Cup, which is on the 8th of August. I've got me tickets for that. And we can't be losing any more key players. Like I say, Mateus Fernandes and Summerville, just move them to one side, no problem. We need to reinvest this money. There's no point in Daniel Kretinsky making all of these moves to get people in through the door if we're not going to replace them with players of a certain quality that are able to do the jobs that we need. So, like I say, that story's worried me. I do wonder how credible it is. I hope it's not. And as I say, James Tavernier, I just go, probably could do a job for us in the champ, but I'm not convinced that he's Premier League level. So, but let me know what you think. You got your comment section below. Maybe you think that James Tavernier could do a job. As I say, bear in mind he's 34 though, and he's been at Rangers all those years, and he's never been pulled down into the Premier League during that point. So I don't see that. Like I say, champ, fine, but if we get promoted, which is the aim, what's he going to offer us? I'm not sure he would. I don't really see it. And as I say, Taty, we can't afford to let him go. And as each day creeps towards the opening game against Portsmouth in the League Cup, and then obviously a week later we're then playing the league opener against Burnley away. I know that the transfer window is still open beyond that point, but come on. You need to have your key players in place for the start of the season. Get your comments in the section below. Let me know. Am I getting my knickers in a twist over absolutely nothing? Or are you with me? Are you a bit like, no, Taty, if this sort of story, this can't be allowed. This can't be allowed. That would be an absolute letdown of the good feeling, I think. If Taty was to walk out of the door, whether we make a profit on him or not, then I start to think that a lot of the good feeling, the good vibe, despite certain concerns that a lot of the fans are probably getting, which are the same as mine, that we've not brought anyone in yet, then I think that a lot of the goodwill possibly becomes undone if Taty is allowed to go. Whether we sell him, loan him, whatever, if Taty's allowed to go, I'm concerned that not just what we lose on the pitch, but what we lose in terms of morale, both with the players and with the fan base, would be counterproductive for me in terms of, what you would gain from moving him out the door, what you would lose in those two aspects of the fans are disgruntled, the players are disappointed for moving Taty on. Just no, it's a flat no for me. But you might disagree. You might have a different point of view. And I'm always interested to listen to other people's opinions. I don't profess to have all of the answers. I don't profess that my opinions are factual. They're opinions. Okay? So you give me yours in the comments section below and we'll get stuck into that. If you could do us a favor before you decamp, if you could drop a like on the stream, give us a hype if you have one available, because that's what pushes this content out to places it otherwise might not reach. And if you could also share this on your socials as well, that would help as well. If you're not yet subscribed to the West Ham Massive, if you could do me a huge favor by getting out your mobile device and scanning that QR code that I've got in the top left-hand corner of your screen. That will take you to the YouTube subscription page where you can subscribe to your heart's content. Remember that it's free, data safe, and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time. All it does is hope to grow the channel. We're currently at 2310 subscribers. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Not bad. Come join us on the journey. Come and join us on a massive, massive journey. Anyway, appreciate your input, as I say. Appreciate your time. Get your comments in the section below, and we'll get stuck into it. Let's get talking. It's good to talk. They said that on an advert once. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. Come on, you irons.